time next year, you will hold that baby in your arms. Hope again! Hope again!
One of the qualifications for a pastor is to be honest and trustworthy. And if you have a pastor who is blatantly lying from the pulpit, I think that disqualifies you.
The person next to me said, "Do you want new toes?" And I was like, "Well, sure."
He starts by taking his shirt off and then licking the sword.
Just kind of like introduce yourselves a little bit.
Hi. Hello, I'm Judah. It's my little brother, Jonathan.
Neither one of us are seminary trained. We've both been Christians a very long time. But I do believe that every Christian does have the responsibility to call out bad fruit in the church. And we also have a personal connection to this church.
I was at James River for about 8 years. We were heavily involved.
John and Debbie Lindell are the head pastors. They have 5 campuses, 4 physical and 1 virtual. It wasn't that bad. It was a relatively run-of-the-mill Assemblies of God church. During a week of power in 2023, they were kind of doing like a healing event where people were coming forward to headaches and backaches and all different types of things. This team of volunteers were praying with this woman at their Joplin campus. This woman, her name is Christina Dines.
Had 3 toes that were amputated in a terrible accident. The person next to me said, "Do you want new toes?" And I was like, "Well, sure." All the women got down and they prayed over my foot. And I saw 3 toes that were forming, and now there's length to them tonight.
Well, after this week of power, John Lindell, the pastor of James River, claimed
It is a legitimate miracle, and, we can provide the kind of proof that would be necessary. People have asked, "Have you seen pictures of the toes?" I have. So I've seen the picture of the toes.
one of the qualifications for a pastor is to be honest and trustworthy. And if you have a pastor who is blatantly lying from the pulpit, I think that disqualifies you.
What I want to assure you of is it's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. It's real. God's word to you this morning is that he wants to raise that hope back up in your life.
In September of 2023, in front of the entire church, David Lindell, who is the son of John and Debbie Lindell, he said,
And the word of the Lord is to you, at this time next year, you will hold that baby in your arms. Hope again! Hope again!
So that means by September of 2024, they should be holding the baby. I've spoken to a handful of people now. They heard it. They were physically there. And as of December of last year, they were still not pregnant. Then in October of 2024, so a year and a month later, his dad, John Lindell, preached a sermon that basically said that a true prophet of God can sometimes get it wrong.
You shoot people down and you say, well, they got it wrong, so they're off. Listen, you've got to give people the room to grow in the grace and the gifting that God has given them.
The standard for a prophet in Deuteronomy says that whatever the Lord has said will come to pass. And that's how you know that it's a true prophet. Today, we just look at this and say, you're not a true prophet.
This one made a little bit more mainstream. Why was there an ex-stripper performing on stage during a church event at James River?
That's a great question. If you know the answer, let us know.
Yeah. We're still trying to figure out why. James River's known for their Stronger Men's Conference to go big. They had like a Rambo on a tank, shooting Uzis, American flags everywhere, fireworks. And how do you top that? Last year in April, it was actually 12th and the 13th, Alex, the performer.
He used to be a go-go dancer in Vegas. He did a little bit of male stripping, and he was even in an adult film at one point. He was booked for this act that he does, which is he's a sword swallower, and he climbs a pole, and then he slides down the pole with the sword in his throat, and then he stops right before he hits the ground. But is that appropriate for a church event?
It first came out that like, hey, we didn't know it was going to be this bad. They were actually asking women to not watch the show. So it was very aware that this was going to be something provocative, and they still green-lighted it.
John Lindell preached a Wednesday night service. So half a week later,
at that Wednesday night service, John
doubles down saying that Alex is a Christian. And it gets even crazier because then Alex comes out and basically it's revealed that he's not a Christian.
As soon as that happened, everyone's like, hey, James River, you guys need to go to all the social medias where you gave misinformation, and they wouldn't do it.
Regardless of where you live, we're hoping to use our local megachurch, James River, as a case study so that if you see similar things happening at your local church, that you can be like, oh, wow, those are red flags.
The only thing that's going to change in that church is if John Lindell repents and changes and turns to the true gospel. Just because you're a pastor and you have a big church doesn't mean you're right.